Hey! Another video is starting here on the channel. Subscribe, like, and let's get to the unmissable content. The story begins with the introduction of Gina, a very popular high school student known and admired by everyone at school because she's incredibly talented and a K-pop trainee at a major agency. Her best friends are Hannah, another K-pop trainee, and Mi, who comes from a wealthy family. Meanwhile, we see a guy named Sun Min watching Gina from her classroom window. Moments later, her best friend Ball arrives and warns him that if he stares too hard, he might go blind. He also tells her that pursuing her is pointless because she's so pretty. Their lives take a very different turn after Gina is approached by her boyfriend Hong, also a very popular and handsome guy at school. He apologizes for missing her birthday and explains that he was busy with his sports practice. He suggests they can celebrate now, but Gina says she's tired of his behavior and wants to break up. She even reveals that she's dating someone. When he asks who he is, she looks at the nearby board and points to Suman's photo. Seeing it hanging, she bursts out laughing and says she'll only leave her alone if she introduces him to her new boyfriend after he leaves. Gina's friends arrive, and she explains the situation to them. She then hands him a photo of Su Min, and the three of them begin searching for him at school. Some time later, Ball encounters Mi and learns that Gina is looking for his friend. He is excited and quickly informs her. After a while, our hero goes to the school rooftop, where Gina is waiting for him. Upon seeing him, she bluntly tells him she wants him to be her boyfriend soon. Min remembers the first time he saw her singing. When he immediately fell in love with her, he excitedly continues saying yes, but before that, Gina makes it clear that they only need to pretend to be dating. She explains that they can break up once all their problems are resolved. Our hero is annoyed and refuses the proposal. According to the contract, they must go home together, post photos on social media, and go on fake dates for the next 50 days. This excites our hero, and he suggests they wear matching outfits, but Gina reminds them that this isn't a real relationship. She asserts that they shouldn't fall in love with each other and aren't allowed to date other people during this time. Later, Hyung once again approaches Gina and begins to harass her. He thinks she's lying about him, but suddenly, Min arrives and introduces himself as her boyfriend. Although Hung doesn't believe it, he really has no choice but to leave her alone. Afterward, Suman talks to her father and informs him that she has a girlfriend. Her father is excited by the news, so he offers him some advice on how to treat a girl. Taking his words into account, our hero begins to pamper Gina, bringing her food when she's hungry and always trying to help her at night. He suggests they go for a walk together, but she refuses. However, when she sees Chong approaching, she changes her mind. She decides to go for a walk later, and they have lunch together and exchange notes about each other's hobbies and interests. Gina then heads to her dance class while he waits patiently outside. After class ends, they decide to walk home together moments later. When Gina steps forward to cross the street, she doesn't notice the car approaching, but luckily Sun Min saves her in time, and they stare at each other for a while before leaving. She asks for his number, and he asks if he can text her when they get home. However, she refuses, advising him not to get his hopes up because she's not interested in him. The next day, while Gina is hanging out with her friends, she invites Sunmin, who arrives with the Ball group, to an internet cafe to play, and our heroine surprises everyone by playing exceptionally well. Later, she takes a photo with Sun Min and shares it on social media, making her ex-boyfriend jealous on the way home. Whatever the moment, the next day, she goes to school wearing the same jacket. While Sun Min is on the school field, when Hyung and his friends approach him, they try to intimidate him, but at that moment, Gina appears and warns them to stay away from her boyfriend. She also threatens to report them to the authorities if they don't comply. However, H is still not convinced they are dating and thinks it's just to prove him wrong. Gina pulls Suman closer and kisses him abruptly, shocking everyone. Later, our hero innocently asks Gina if she likes him and wanted that kiss to happen. However, she explains that she only did it to shut him up, disappointed by his words. Suman avoids her for the rest of the day, leaving her confused. Eventually, she talks to Ball about her friend's cold behavior towards her. She wants to know why he's been acting so strange lately. B finally reveals that he's always been in love with her, which is why he agreed to the contract. He also tells her that it was Suman's first kiss and that he wanted it to be real and meaningful. Meanwhile, in class, our hero. He meets Hannah, who is feeling unwell because she hasn't eaten in 3 days. He asks why she's doing this, and she claims her agency asked her to lose weight. Suman is shocked and immediately gives her some food, saying it's dangerous to stay hungry for too long. As the two talk, Hannah asks if it's hard for him to pretend to be in a relationship without genuine feelings. However, the conversation is interrupted by Gina, who pulls him away from the conversation when they're alone. She asks if he really likes her and why he didn't. He mentions this before Suman responds by saying he fell in love with her the first time he saw her sing. He couldn't take his eyes off her because she was so beautiful. Upon hearing this, Gina apologizes for the sudden kiss, but he assures her not to worry, as the next one will be real that night. During dance class, the coach repeatedly lectures Hannah, claiming. Hannah is relieved, as it seems she started to like Suman. Later, she approaches him and invites him to a music event that night. Our hero doesn't want to attend because he has other plans, but she keeps insisting until he agrees. That night, we see Suman hanging out with Gina, and he presents her with gifts and apologizes for forgetting her birthday. Before she does, however, she refuses to accept any of the gifts, saying she's not interested in seeing him again. She leaves, but he grabs her hand, and at that moment, Suman appears with Hannah. It turns out that Hannah and Hyung deliberately planned this whole thing to get them to break up with Gina and her ex-boyfriend. Suman gets angry and leaves, but she follows him and apologizes. She asks why he's with Hannah, and he explains that she invited him to a music event. He then asks why she's there, to which she reveals that it was also Hannah's idea. However, he refuses to believe her, so she ends up going home. Some time later, Gina is approached by a classmate who has been stalking her for a week. He begins annoying her. He suggests they go out. Meanwhile, Hyung sees Suman and begins to worry when he discovers that Gina went home alone. He informs our hero that a stalker has been leaving notes for her for several days, so she isn't safe alone. Hearing this, Suman panics, and both men begin searching everywhere for her, while the stalker continues to harass Gina and threatens to kill her if she refuses to be his girlfriend. She somehow escapes him and calls her ex-boyfriend to inform him of the situation while fleeing. She arrives. Soon, Min, who hugs and comforts her Hyung, also arrives at the scene and begins to fight with the stalker before the matter can escalate further. The police arrive and take him away. In the aftermath, Gina thanks the men for their help. Hung advises Su-min that if he wants to be with her, he must always protect her. He finally accepts their relationship and promises not to bother them. Some dogs bark, and Hannah notices this and becomes furious with jealousy. She approaches Hung and informs him that Gina and Min's relationship isn't real. This shocks her ex-boyfriend, but he's also relieved that he still has a chance with her. The next day, at the agency, the coach announces that the company isn't doing well, so they'll have to pay her some money. Hannah tells him that this wasn't mentioned in her contract, but the coach starts insulting her, saying she's a bad singer. Hearing this, Gina becomes very angry. She starts arguing with the coach. She defends her friend, saying she's as good as everyone else. The coach tells her not to worry about money because she's the best. This angers Gina, and she decides to leave the agency. Later, our heroine is upset and sitting alone when Sun-man approaches her. He informs her that it doesn't matter if she leaves the agency because there are other ways to become famous. He then suggests she upload a video of herself singing to YouTube so she can gain lots of views. At first, Gina is embarrassed to do so, but after a few days, her song goes viral and becomes an internet sensation. Days later, she meets her sister and informs her that she's in a contractual relationship with a guy she likes. However, she says that once the contract ends, she plans to confess her true feelings to him. Meanwhile, at the agency, the coach is furious with Hannah and offers to refund her money if she brings Gina back. This upsets the jealous couple, and when she watches her friend's viral video, she becomes even angrier the next time. Scene: Hannah confesses her feelings to Soo Min, but he shows no interest. She then suggests that when his contract ends, he could at least pretend to date her, like he did with Gina. However, he tells her he can't do that because he has feelings for Gina. This infuriates Hannah, so in revenge, she steals her relationship contract and uploads it online. As a result, everyone starts gossiping about her heroine. She replies that they've never been friends and that she's hated her since they first met. She complains about how Gina is constantly the center of attention, while she has to fight and work hard for everything. Then, Swan goes to the broadcasting room and announces that, even though their relationship was contractual, he's always had feelings for Gina. He makes it clear that she didn't force him into the relationship and asks everyone to stop talking about her hearing this. Gina explains to Hannah that she doesn't care. If everyone hates her because she has someone who truly cares about her after this incident, Hannah is so devastated that she stops going to school, becomes completely anonymous, and isolates herself from anyone who cares about her well-being. Gina comes to her house one day asking her to come back to school. She asks to be friends with her again, but Hannah imposes one condition: Gina must enter into a relationship with Sun Min as soon as her contract ends. The next day is the last day of her contract, so Gina and Soo Min try to skip school to spend some time. At the end of their date, she tearfully tells her that they can't be together anymore, as their contract is over. Confused, our hero tries to stop her, but she apologizes and leaves. A few days pass, and Gina and Soo Min are miserable and distant. Hung notices her sadness and advises her not to give up her happiness for the sake of others. He even consoles her and encourages her to get back together with Soo. Afterward, Gina meets with Han and tells her she doesn't need a friend who demands she give up her love. He explains that she, too, has worked hard to get where she is and has never taken anything from Hannah. Gina then goes in search of Sun Min and eventually finds him. She apologizes for hurting him and finally admits her feelings for him. Our hero is moved and tells her he loves her even more. They then embrace, and Gina tells him she will never let him go. A few days later, she discovers the. Thanks for watching this far. If this content helped or inspired you in any way, please like it, subscribe to the channel, and share it with someone special. A kiss on the heart, and see you next time.